Prospecting means looking for, searching. Let's say you're trying, you have a lot of things together, so you're looking for something in particular and you're, discarding everything else. You're prospecting, you're gathering something from a mount which contains a lot of other things. But you're looking for something specific. You're prospecting. No? Want to add something? Prospecting. So prospect is something that is important if we use that word. No? If I'm using the word prospect, that means I'm looking for something. That it's available, but I just have to segregate it from something else. So I'm prospecting. So it is there. It's not that it's not there. I just have to make sure that, I remove whatever else I don't need. So then what are the prospects of a balanced life? That's something that is very important because all of us have it. But we just have to remove what is not necessary and we have to retain what we are looking for. That's prospecting. Yeah. So how to do that? That's the whole science, that's the whole puzzle of human existence. What is the purpose of life? No? So it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But before we dive into the description and discussion of prospecting the balanced life, and we will request our Sahil Prabhu to perform a little yoga exercise. So what I want you to do, without laughing, is to raise your hands. Okay, raise your hand. You can touch it. No? Okay, touch it. And then stand on one leg. Lift it like this. Okay. But don't touch, actually. Do like this. Okay. Okay. We are struggling. Can you make it? Don't touch. Touch your head. You can touch your head. So how long you can stand like this? No, but it's not even 1 minute. Why are you laughing? This serious discussion now. We're having session. Let's try. Okay. Let's live. No, don't touch behind. Don't touch anything but the floor you're on. Again, you touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, struggle. It's a little difficult. Okay, exhausted already. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for participating in our exercise. So it wasn't easy, no? It wasn't easy. To balance what? What he was trying to balance? His weight, his bodily weight, no? So it's not easy to balance the bodily weight. I was just in one place and there was one boy who won several medals in India. He's a very good gymnastic, how would you call it? In sports gymnastics, yeah. Yes. What's the name for such people? What would it be? Gymnastic. What? Gym? That's it? Okay. So he was very good, He goes on the straps, he runs, he rolls, he twists, he's an amazing fellow, His father was showing us, he was like pretty good. Roll, he jumps and rolls, comes down, I was like, hear that. Amazing balance of the mind and balance of the body. It's not easy to achieve. No? You have to coordinate everything. I say just like such a simple thing, just like balancing the weight of the body. It's not easy to achieve. You have to have a very firm mind. Then you have to be conscious of your weight, that it's balanced. Wasn't easy, no? What if I would, okay, Sahil, come here. But don't worry. If I tell you to, Shirshasana? No, you know what it is?
I know it is, but I don't know how to do.
How you know what it is? What?
Standing on a head.
Standing. Can you do it standing on the head?
No, I've tried many times, not possible.
Okay, try once. Okay, once only. This is Shirshasana. It's a yogic exercise which is very helpful for the body and the mind. Huh? You can do it? You can do it. Okay, Sahil, first, can you try? Don't touch the ceiling. Go behind a little bit. So fast, fast. No, time is running. We are having drama also. Yeah, we have drama also. We have drama, so don't take too much. Just try. Good. Don't laugh. Encourage him. Do we have any cushion? Tick, cushion? Huh? Something? Ah, this one will have. Okay, try with this. Now you have to make a triangle with your hands and the head. Triangle. You know, like in construction, triangles are very important, you know. They hold the balance. Balanced life. Okay, try. 1, 2, 3. Oh, a little more. Okay, it's not easy. It's not easy. But give him a credit. Haribo. Let's try. Okay, Meet, you want to show? Okay, show him. Huh? You can do whatever you want. It's going to be harder than him. Balanced body. Not easy. See? Aram. Slowly. See, when you're doing it, you can't just jump at once. You have to do it gradually, no? That's balance. That's also balance. You have to do things gradually. Okay, done. And gradually, if you crash, also, that's not good. That's a shock for brain, no? Sudden blood rush creates a lot of disturbance. It's very unhealthy. Ramsey, don't get up immediately. You have to remain like this for a few seconds. To balance, it's not easy, right? And most often, what do we do in life? Whenever we cannot balance, what's the tendency? What's the tendency? Okay, let's ask Sahil. Sahil, will you do this again? See, that's the tendency. I can't do it, forget about it. No, it's not for me. Yes or no? Yeah, we give up. We give up very easily, we give up. So this is something that should not be happening. And the main reason now for embracing or accepting certain principles of life is to know the value of them. This is my, it's introduction, but it's going to be conclusion as well. We have to understand the value of something in order to make any attempt to achieve it. No? Otherwise, we won't be endeavoring, right? Why should we do it? No, why should we do it? It's just too much trouble. It's a distraction, it's a disturbance, it's annoyance. No, why should we do it? That's why the main reason is to understand the value of something. So I'll offer the invocation prayers before we begin. Om Jnana Timirandasya Granjana Shalaka Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshta Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Namo Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Gadadhar Shri Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. So we see everything is a balance in this world. Everything, absolutely everything, from the macro to micro world, everything is a balance. If our planet would be a little bit closer to the sun, what would happen? What would happen? What if it would be a little farther away? It would be very cold, huh? And without the gas and, it's it would be enormous problems. Everything would froze, serious problem. So that's what we see in the whole nature. Everything is fine-tuned, the science, the fine-tuning. You must have heard. Everything is fine-tuned. Anything that it's kind of in discord with fine-tuning creates enormous trouble. It's enormous disbalance. That's why everything in the world, it's about fine-tuning or understanding what that fine-tuning is and getting along with it, not going against it. If we go against any kind of principle of existence, we're going to create a trouble. We have a simple example. There's so many. Balance, we can discuss practically about everything. Let's say, okay, take Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, was he in the balance before the battle of Kurukshetra or not? In from every point of consideration, was it balanced position or not? Was his position balanced or not? What do you think? Anybody knows a little bit about Bhagavad Gita? Let's say the first chapter, what is going on in the first chapter? He was very confused. What did he want to do? He didn't want to work, right? He didn't want to act. He just wanted to renounce. No? I'm having a trouble and therefore I'm renouncing everything. I don't want to deal with it. No? I'll just give it up. As one boy, just recently we heard, so many times it happens. It's not something new. Oh, everything, it's so much trouble. I'm going to Vrindavan. I'm going to Vrindavan. And he went to Vrindavan, stayed for a few days, and then had to come back. No, it's not easy. It's not easy to stay somewhere. Just, I'm renouncing everything. And he didn't listen to anybody. He just did it, what he wanted to do, very whimsically, very, very stupidly, And then what happened? It was complete disaster. It was like I tried to, jump high. There's nothing to catch. There's nothing to, land on. I'm just going to break myself. It doesn't work like this. There has to be a balance. There has to be understanding. There has to be realization of what it involves to act in a certain way. So if that's not there, it's going to be a huge problem. Let's say anybody who has a driving license. Raise your hand. Okay, who knows how to drive? Driving license and knowing how to drive is not the same thing in India. Okay, anyway, if you don't know even how to drive, at least you have been, driven, Let's say somebody must have, you must have been sitting and somebody else must have been driving. So you have also some experience. So how is the driving experience? How does that go? There has to be a lot of balance. Yes or no? Yes. If it's too fast somewhere, what happens? It's a big problem. If it's too slow, you get stuck also. So there are different considerations. It's called dynamic balance. Because another thing is, in the traffic, you have to constantly navigate. Yes? It's a constant navigation going on. If you fail, there's a danger. You have to be aware, you have to be constantly conscious. So you have to learn how to navigate. I'm here, okay, what about this? What about it? You have to be conscious. That's why you have so many. Because recently we were somewhere, and then one devotee was driving, and and there was some congestion in front, and then he wanted to pull, and he did pull back without looking what is going on behind, and there was a motorcycle behind, and he went to the motorcycle. Stupid. It was a very stupid thing to do without any consideration, without checking, using this mirror, which is in front, to see behind. It's a very, very bad thing to do. So one has to learn how to balance, how to navigate, how to go through that. The life is all like this. It's not just one-way road, highway and Haribol, nothing on it, and just you go straight forward and everything is smooth and easy. It doesn't work like this, because that's not what the life is. And it would be boring. Sometimes you're on a highway. I've been on some highways, which is like, for hours you can just drive straight like this. It becomes boring. Many times the drivers, tend to fall asleep. That's also terrible. But life, it's more than that. It's very dynamic, and you have to always consider so many different kinds of influences, so many different kinds of factors that are there. Let's say when you talk about the driving, let's use the road as the analogy, and we have to remain dynamic. It's a dynamic point. It's a dynamic process. Yeah, to be on the road and to drive on the road and to reach what is the most important in driving. Why we are driving? To have some driving fun or destination. We have to be clear about our destination. No? That's actually the most important. So while we are adjusting the speed, that's one thing. We're adjusting the speed, we're adjusting our position. So many considerations are there. So it's not easy. It's not easy. So life, it's also like this. Everything is about the balancing and understanding different kinds of positions that we're in, or in relationship with someone or something. No? It's not easy thing. But if we're going to be embarking on this driving, let's say, if we're going to be having certain experience or trying to reach certain goal, well, then we have to become ready. And we have to become ready to learn something. No? You get on the road just like this? No, you're supposed to, again, you said you have to have a driving license. And if you have a driving license, you're supposed to know how to drive. Not just how to drive, but again, how to navigate, how to follow certain principles, rules, signs. No? You have to know what you're doing. So life, it's like this. But unfortunately, we see who is teaching us. There's one song, very famous song. You gave me the life, now you show me how to live. Who is showing us how to live? Do we know how to live? Not really. Not really, because we don't see it by the results. We don't see it by the results that we know how to live. No? There's so much frustration, so much disappointment. Yeah? So many horrible effects of so-called life that we are leading. We don't even know how to live. Who can say we know how to live? We know how to relate to each other. We know how to balance everything. That it's to our favor. I don't see it. I don't see it. So what is the important principle then? It's to learn something. Where do we learn? That's another thing. So then we have to inquire. We have not been fortunate to be exposed to the certain learning process, which is beneficial learning process, which is absolute learning process, not something that is temporary. Then there is the scope of balancing the life. We don't even know what the life is. No? What is there to balance? What is there to balance? That's like, what are the important things in life? Who can tell me? Please raise your hand. What are the important things in life you think that you have to consider? What are the important things? Yes?
Spirituality.
Spirituality. Okay. One is spirituality. What else? Anything else? Mind control. Okay. What else? What else is important in life?
Control of the senses.
Wait a second. Now you didn't raise your hand. Mind control, sense control, that's okay. What else? That's all? Nothing else in life is important? What? Peace. Piece of what? Piece of cake or what? Mind, peace of mind, again, mind, okay. What else we have to consider? What is important in life? Think a little bit. Yes?
Health and
Health, okay, he said health. What do you think? Yes. No, that we already heard. Something else. What do you think you should have focused on? What was important in life? No. That's okay. Studies, what about studies? If you neglect studies, what happens? You don't have experience. Studying is not important. Yes or no? Yes, so then that's what you should say. Because if you fail in that, then that also creates a lot of disturbance. Okay, Meet, what do you want to say? Basic necessities, like what?
Food, shelter.
Food, shelter. Okay, that is also important. Yukta hara vihara se yukta cheshta se. Yukta svapna vaboda se yoga bhavati yukta hara. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that if you want to be a yogi, you have to regulate 4 things. That means you have to be balanced in 4 things: eating, sleeping, recreation, and work. If any of those it's disbalanced, there's going to be a problem. Too much eating, is it good? It's a problem. Too less eating, it's a problem. If you sleep too much, is it nice? No, it's a problem. If you sleep too less, can you focus? Can you perform? No, it's also a problem. If you don't maintain your body, you don't take care of the health and maybe some recreation or something, is that good for your body? No. But if you just keep on working, and you neglect your health or something, is that good? If you don't work, what about that? Is that nice also? You just don't do any work? That's also terrible. So you can't achieve anything in life. There has to be a balance. It has to be balanced. So we talked about health. In Ayurveda, what is Ayurveda based upon? Who knows a little bit about Ayurveda? Anybody know something? No? Huh? Anybody else? Ayurveda, you never heard of Ayurveda. Ayurveda, what is it based upon? Sorry. That's okay. Huh?
To treat people without
How? How they treat? What's the principle process? Huh? No, okay. Yes. Okay, what do you want to say? Dosh means like a fault, it's like dosh. Idli dosha. There are three different, yes?
To balance what we can talk with the body.
Yeah, that's 3. 1, 2, 3. To balance those different propensities of the body, or natures of the body, or qualities of the body. How would we translate dosha? How would we translate? What is it? Kapha, pitta, vaya, what is that? Huh? No. How would we describe them? What are they? The what? Elements. What else? Any other more synonym? Yes? Energies, okay, elements, energies. That also is there. So any of those disbalance, then you can make sure you're going to get unhealthy. That's what it's based. That's the principle of Ayurveda. It has to be balanced. What about social life? Let's say you neglect your family. What happens? Is that good? Is that good? There's going to be a very nice result happening? No, that's going to be a problem. Let's say then you neglect your friends. Is that going to be good? That's not going to be good. Then let's say you neglect some other kind of relationship. So can that relationship be sustained? No, there's going to be a problem. There's so many things in life. It's just we can keep on going for quite some time. But the idea is everything is balance. Everything is about a balance. If as soon as you divert or twist or hang on some certain other side of that so-called balance that it should be there, so-called, because in terms of understanding what it is, and then we are not balancing what we are supposed to balance, then it's going to create a trouble. It's going to create trouble in a relationship. It's going to create trouble in health. It's going to create trouble in profession. It's going to create a lot of trouble in so many different ways. That's why we have to be conscious and aware of all of this. This is what Varnashram Dharma system is about. To understand what is our psychophysical nature and balance that. Act accordingly. And add, just like we said also, spirituality is important because it also gives us a goal, it gives us a final goal, just like we were talking about driving. We can drive, even be a perfect driver, we don't know what's your goal, what's the use of driving? What's the use of driving? At some point, we have to reach some destinations and achieve something tangible and something substantial like this. And otherwise, what's the use of just driving around? So we have to become a perfect drivers as much as possible, at least good ones. And then we have to understand what is our goal. And that's also part of the balance system. Because if this balance is there, again, it leads to a lot of trouble, a lot of difficulties. So now everybody usually has that kind of question: how do I balance? No? How do I balance my studies? How do I balance my profession? How do I balance my so-called spiritual life? How do I balance? No? Well, that's why we have to understand. That's why I said in the beginning as an introduction, and I'm going to conclude with this. We have to know what are we supposed to balance. First of all, and it should be very clear what is our goal. So therefore, what is our position? What is the way that we're going to act upon it? And then what are we supposed to expect? What are we expecting? And then you have to learn, again, just like driving, how do you navigate, with which speed, no? To reach your goal, to reach your destination. Let's say if you don't drive, you just sit in your car and you're very patient that, let's say, traffic clears or something. Will you ever get anywhere? You're just so patient. No, you just remain in the same place, same position where you are. But if you're too enthusiastic and you just keep on driving very fast, and you may sometimes even miss certain roads or whatever, or you might get in danger because driving is very, fast, hazardous kind of. So then what will happen? Then that's also not a good idea. You may miss what you're supposed to reach. So that's why, again, balance of life, it's based on understanding what is our position, how we should act upon it to reach our goal. 3 things. That's why. How to balance? Well, first of all, let's find out what we're supposed to balance in the first place. No? What are we supposed to balance? What is this life about? And what are the responsibilities that we have or we have undertaken and how to achieve them? So it has to be balanced, because as soon as that's not the case, there's going to be trouble. That's like we see nowadays, especially in terms of family life. Many times somebody is overly working and neglecting the family, and then the family breaks down. A lot of troubles, a lot of problems also. So then, and then you neglect, let's say, neglect your spiritual life, and what kind of existence you have if you don't have a spiritual life? It's also not appropriate. So that's why the whole purpose of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is how to establish this balance and how to understand what the goal of life really is and how to achieve everything that we're supposed to achieve in a balanced way. Sometimes, let's say, like it might happen, you get a lack of sleep, no? Then what do you do? What do you do? You're supposed to make it up to some extent. Yes or no?
Yes.
Because if you continue like this, then what will happen?
Less efficiency.
Less efficiency, there won't be a good quality result. No? Just like sometimes our devotees, let's say they go out and they work very hard. And for example, initial days, the most prominent activity was book distribution. And like for a whole day, devotees might be distributing books, the same books, but they wouldn't be so efficient. They wouldn't be so efficient, although they work so hard. They really put so much endeavor. But why they were not efficient? What do you think? Why they were not efficient? Can anyone guess? They would have they would be doing something, achieving something, but not as efficient. Can anyone guess? Someone who has been practicing a little bit? Some of you have gone for book distribution. What was the problem? Huh? What would have been a problem? Yes?
We lose the interest.
We lose the interest. That might be one thing. Another? What else? Huh?
Not proper rest. So
Not proper rest. So it's not about rest. Might have been rest, but it had been just a lot of working hours. Yes? Proper sadhana. That's the whole point. Proper sadhana. What does that mean? Proper consciousness. Proper inspiration. That's just Srila Prabhupada requested everyone, you're distributing my books, but you're not reading them. No? So when they reduce the book distribution hours and they increase studying hours, their efficiency much, much greater. Why? Because they had a proper consciousness and they invited the proper response, the proper consciousness, and therefore results have increased. So that's a balance. If you just again, emphasize something at the expense of something else, then no matter how hard you try and endeavor, the efficiency won't be so great. So that's why this is what the life it's all about. It's about navigating how to go about through life and with which speed. That also has to be there. Sometimes you even have to stop. And then you keep on moving again. It's all about the balance. Because there are so many different factors that you can't influence, but you'll have to adjust to them. So what is this all about? That's what Srimad Bhagavad Gita talks about. Therefore, it talks about our conditioned nature. That's why it talks about our constitutional nature. Both of those have to be addressed. So when that is addressed, that's a perfect balance. So if we know that, and we won't have any difficulties or any confusion, how do we go ahead? And what are we supposed to achieve in life? That's why everything is about the balance. But again, we have to have an information. What is it? And how to apply it. Okay, let's stop here. Any questions or comments on this? Yes.
How to handle setbacks.
How to?
Handle setbacks.
Setbacks. Okay, how to handle setbacks. Perhaps why there was a setback. Then we have to analyze, no? Why there was a setback. And then obviously we did something that was out of balance. No? It was out of balance. Maybe we have over-endeavored or we didn't endeavor sufficiently, or we just neglected something else, and that's why the quality outcome was not what we were expecting. Then it has to be analyzed. Any setback is definitely due to this balance, no? So it has to be seen. It's a general question. So therefore, general answer would be we have to, just like anytime we fail in anything, you know what is the expression? Back to the basics. What does that mean, back to the basics? And you have to start again, from wherever you've started before. Just you have to see whether, okay, what did I do now? Did I do things correct or not? Because like in spiritual life, whenever we face difficulties in spiritual practice, whenever we face so many obstacles, whenever we face so many challenges, whenever we face so many difficulties in dealing with others or whatever it might be, then we have to pause a little bit and start analyzing what is going on. Go to the basics. What is the basics? Again, sadhana. What is our chanting? What is our reading? What is our consciousness? What is our perception of what is going on? And when things cool down, when the mind is peaceful, our perception is going to be much more clear. When our mind is agitated, when we start acting with such an agitated mind, we create even more disturbance and more agitation. Therefore, one has to pause, cool down, and start again from the beginning, but with the proper consciousness. Then our perception, understanding, everything will be different. Then we will also understand what is the proper course of action to achieve whatever we have to achieve. Okay? Okay, any other question? Yes? How to increase self-control? analyzing first of all what is required, what it's not. Because our senses take over when we over endeavor for something without proper understanding how we should again act upon whatever we want to achieve using whatever process we are using. And then it's like, again, driving the car. You think you're driving the car, but sometimes car can drive you. When you lose the control of, over the speed, no? And let's say even worse, sometimes you come to the very slippery, let's say sometimes maybe icy or some water or some sand or something. Whew, no control. No control. So that means I once had an experience like this. And I remember it was Ekadashi day, and I just started practicing this Krishna consciousness. And there were two devotees with me. We went up to some hills with the bikes, and just a little kind of like a holiday exercise or whatever, this and that. So we went up, and when we were coming down, there was a curve like this, and the slope was like pretty steep slope. And one devotee went first, and he managed. And then there was me, and then there was one behind. But when I was supposed to go down, the car came. So the car came in the opposite direction, of course, towards me. And then what happened, I couldn't cut the curve because the car was coming. So the car passed, and then I was stuck. I was just going straight down. And then at that point, when the curve was, there was sand and pebbles. And in that speed, and that was like about maybe 60 kilometers per hour or something, it's pretty fast, down the hill. And then I had to use the brakes. There was no any other option. But when I pressed the brakes, the wheels just got stuck. And on that sandy pebbled road, it just slided straight away. And I was like flying. Later on, we were measuring, maybe like 13 meters. Ooh. Horrible. Horrible. That was my longest jump. That's my personal record. And then the devotee behind, he was like, I couldn't believe, Fortunately, somehow, Lord Nrsimhadev saved me. Nothing really happened to me. I ended up in some, ditch down there, it's like some bushes. Bike was broken. Interesting. I just had few scratches. Krishna's mercy. So, what you do? Many times if you, like this, overspeed and under circumstances, you just lose control. So when we talk about mind and the senses, we have to be careful. What are we doing with our mind and senses? Are we agitating them to the point which is beyond our control? Very dangerous. Very dangerous. That's why we have to be very cautious. What are we exposing our mind and senses to? It has to be balanced. No? We shouldn't overindulge and create too many impressions or too many, different kinds of longings, desires, because then we won't be able to control. It's going to overpower us, and it's going to burden us and trouble us. So sense control, it's about, again, balance, keeping things in balance. It's like, the best thing is sattva guna. Sattva guna. Things are balanced. Mind, it's peaceful. And you can do with it and the senses, whatever you want. Then you have them under control. Otherwise, rajaguna, tamaguna, you're overwhelmed. And they carry you wherever they want to carry you, whatever impressions were. That's how we chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. That's the process of balancing, purifying, and controlling the mind. And then we are taking very nice prasadam, which we will have after 15 minutes or so. To help us, that diet is there. So we have diet and the medicine. That's diet. Diet for the senses, which will help us regulate the tongue. is the most ferocious out of all the senses. And then this medicine of chanting, yeah, well, that's for controlling mind, and diet for controlling the tongue or the senses. You can try that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll stop here. Anybody else has any questions? We can discuss that after the dinner. So now we'll have another part of the program, which is drama. Is there?
Yes.
Okay, please jump on the stage.